Well, Darrell, I appreciate you may want to keep your cards close to your chest because 6 days and counting before the window closes. Where are we at with Bristol Rovers at the moment?
Exactly where we were last week. Nothing signed and sealed yet, to be honest with you. And like I said last week, it'll be judged at the end of the window. You know, and I'll sit here and tell you whether it's been good or bad. Obviously, we're quite far down the line with a couple of players. However, I've also known the carpet gets swept underneath you, so we'll see. You know, probably early next week now. To be honest, we would be hoping to tie those two up that I'm in deep talks with and had meetings with. So we're hopeful that we can agree one or two things, but sometimes they change. So I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. And like I said, at the end of the window, it'll be judged.
How important is it that you don't push the panic button? Are you maybe 5 years experience of these transfers?
Listen, I ain't panicking whatsoever, to be honest. I don't panic. It has to be the right player, the right calibre to come into the club at the right price. Everything has to tick a lot of right boxes, and certainly hungry players is what we're after. We're after a mixture. I'm after another experienced player in the squad because I think we're missing one of those. You know, and another one with good talent. The two players I'm actually talking to at the minute. So trying to get your balance right and trying to make sure that they come into the squad and hungry and ready to go, and not just for the rest of this season, but for the future. Like I say, I've said all along I want permanent signings in this window, and hopefully we can get a couple of those across the line and see where the business is at the end of it.
Do we have to be realistic as well, though? Might there be a loan signing on his way?
Messi's not coming in, is he? Let's be honest. Listen, we are where we are, what we work with. I think first week of the window, everybody will be thinking of a massive hit on the signing front. We can't work like that. It's as simple as that. We can't compete with teams that are spending a lot of money in this division. But what we can do, we can be careful with our recruitment and judge players that want to come here for the right reasons as well.
And in terms of outgoings, is there any prospect of outgoings in your squad?
No, not as it stands. Certainly can't afford to lose. I can't keep losing my best player every season. I know it's having 3 years on the spin now, even back at the conference where we lost Michael Smith, who was our best player in League Two by a country mile. So we lost Matty Taylor and Billy Bowden. But we're certainly not in a situation where we can keep losing our best players. And certainly in this window, we've got to make sure, unless it's a unbelievable bid, even then I'd be wanting to turn it down, to be honest with you, because we don't want to leave ourselves short.
As we start straying away from the transfer window, is every member of your squad part of your plans, no matter how many or how few appearances they're making at the moment?
Everybody's on the toes, to be honest with you. Everybody's always with me. And the players know this of our work and how we go about it. There's no guarantees for anybody, and we've got to keep working hard and build on this little run we've been on. A couple of wins and three away draws, and we'll try and go to Doncaster and pick up the 3 points. So we just continue as the way we're going.
Doncaster were the last team to beat you, I think, just before Christmas. Where are we at with the format? You're always a man who doesn't get carried away with highs nor lows. So
I'm still beating myself up. I couldn't make that game, to be honest. That killed me, to be honest. I couldn't move out of bed. So no, listen, they've been on a decent run themselves. So we should be set up for a really good game, and no two games are the same, that's for sure. So we've got to put that defeat to bed. We sort of set them on a good run. So let's hope we can stop their running and go pick 3 points up at their place.
Without being too graphic, what were you doing between 3 and 5 o'clock? Were you keeping tabs on the game?
Trying to breathe, to be honest with you. I was dead. It was one of those where I couldn't move my body. My body had a complete shutdown, and everybody knows me at the know that I don't miss a game. You know what I mean? Unless I'm dying. So, and I felt like I was bloody dying. So no, it was very disappointing, very frustrating. But obviously watched the game back. There weren't a lot in the game, to be honest with you, on a very breezy, windy day, and they took their chance.
And it's a bit of a Groundhog Day in terms of yet another team. I think there's a point separating you. There's so many teams. A couple of wins you go up, a couple of teams.
Yeah, but we don't get carried away. Like I said, and I said this a good few weeks ago. Our first target is to make sure that we're still in League One next season. That hasn't changed. Certainly not getting carried away on this run of form that we've been on. And certainly the target is to win as many games as we can, make sure we secure our status, and then kick on and keep rebuilding the club. I mentioned before, it feels like we've hit a brick wall on and off the pitch, and certainly on the pitch what I can control with a little bit of that this season, which can happen after we've come so far so quickly.
And having hit a brick wall, do we have to be patient to turn things around then?
Well, I've been patient with certain players that wasn't playing particularly well early on in the season, and have now coming to the fore, coming back into form. And I think certainly through the course of this season we had a really bad run where a lot of my players were nowhere near the standard. If you go back with the interviews I had with you guys, there was 5 or 6 in my 11 that were struggling, and when you ain't got a big squad, and sometimes you got to keep faith with those boys. And I think certainly over the last few performances, we've certainly last few that we've been doing really well.
Yeah, we have to judge it, do you, by player by player? I'm thinking Tom Lockyer, for example, having signed his contract, he says he wants to return to his best form, and he's showing signs of that at the moment.
Yeah, no, certainly come. So has Darrell Clarke, I think, and Lyons has come back into the team and done very well. Sirks has been Mr. Consistent most of the season. Sinko's back to his best in his last few games. So when you're looking through it, and Broadbent's, you know, improving every week. Strikers are working hard. We've just got to keep going. It's a tough competitive league, and we've got no given right to finish in the top half of the season with what we're competing with at the minute. But we're working really hard to make sure that we finish these last 18 games as high up as possibly can, and we're only 3 points from where we were behind from last season. So plenty to build on.
If you had your way, would there not be transfer windows? Do you hate January?
I don't. No. Listen, it can get frustrating. It can get frustrating for managers. You can run into a lot of brick walls. Do you know what I'm saying? So it can be, and certainly I'll be very, very frustrated and very angry and disappointed if we don't get a couple. You know, I wanted to get 3 or 4 in this window of permanence, and I'll be very frustrated and angry that if we don't get those in. But hopefully they'll come through.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just on that point there, Darrell, you say you're frustrated and angry if you don't get another couple in. Is there any reason why you wouldn't get those in now? Do you think it's just?
Well, everything. There's loads of things, variations at why that won't happen. Is it? Do you know what I mean? Dependent on what other clubs are in for them. Are they bigger clubs than us? Do they have better infrastructures than us? Do they offer better salaries than us? And you know, and also where you are in the country. You know, what I say is I'm quite far down the line with a couple of players, and hopefully them two come off, because I think they'll add massive value to our squad.
I understand you don't want to give too much away about those two, obviously. Are you able to say what positions they play at all?
No.
No, fair enough. And fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you say your frustrations, if they don't come in, is that likely to be?
Well, it's like any manager, isn't it? So no. It's any manager up and down the league. His finances always come into play at every single football club. So I know what you're trying to get at, but that happens anywhere. You know, somebody might pay a player an extra £500–600 that we can't reach to a week. That's football. We move on. But like I say, very hopeful, and I will be frustrated and angry and disappointed if we don't get a couple across the line. And like I say, let's judge it at the end of the window.
But you're happy with the financial back you've been given this month to go out there and get the players you want?
I know the restraints that I have to work with. You know, we can keep harping on about it. What I do know is everybody's very passionate about his football club behind the scenes as well, and we want to keep giving me the best opportunity and the fans the best opportunity to try and move it forward.
And more on the game on Saturday. Obviously, you use a midfield diamond a bit more regularly. You said that the forward midfield are all in pretty good form now. Do you think that's a major factor?
I won't try and second guess me.
No, fair enough. But do you think it's making you harder to beat, to having players that are in form, people like Chris Lyons playing in that role, and Partington was good there as well?
I think it's football, isn't it? Footballers, like I said there to Richard there, we've had stages this season where we've had 5–6 players not on the game. When you're on a good run, players are on form, and they build confidence from that.
And you think the confidence is there for away games? They're much harder to beat on the road the last 3 games.
It's in proof will be on the pudding come Saturday, wouldn't it? Later, see where we are at 5 o'clock after Saturday. We just go and treat it as another project, as we do all our games.
And just one final, slightly more random question. I don't know if you know, but you're now in the top 10 longest serving managers in the country as well. What's the secret to lasting so long in this game?
I'm on borrowed time then, aren't I? Yeah, listen, I think you've always got to get success. I think now you're in a volatile world, and everybody wants success every season. It's getting crazy, the footballing world's getting crazy, how many managers are getting sacked, and the game needs a long, hard look at itself, because you can't build anything in 3–6 months as a manager. You need time to build things, but while you've got happy trigger chairman and owners, that'll always be the way, and that's the volatile world we're in, but I love it.